Well, hello, welcome to this week's video, and this week's video is bluebell season again. If you didn't see it last year, then I came to this woods. It's one of the best woods around here. I came to this woods when it was foggy, but I didn't really feel happy with the pictures particularly, so I've come back again today because this is probably prime bluebell time. I reckon they're at their best today. We've got a bit of, it's a bit cloudy really, but there has been some brief bursts of sunlight. I've got the geared head on the tripod, so I'm finding some compositions based with these lovely oak trees. I'm finding some compositions with these lovely oak trees and this carpet of bluebells which look magnificent. The smell in here is amazing, by the way. We've also got some wild garlic further down the valley. So I've already found a composition. I'll talk you through this first and then we'll see what else we can see. I'm just hoping we might get a little bit more light, but hey ho, patience is required. So I found my first composition. Oak trees are brilliant because they're very kind of gnarly, certainly old ones are. And this particular part of the woods, there are a few on their own. And I've not photographed from this angle before, but there's a path. It's not really a proper path, but there's definitely people who've walked through the bluebells, which I don't like doing. So I followed their path, and there's some really lovely green, gnarly branches which are going to make the main part of the composition, and the bluebells are just going to be on the ground at the bottom of the frame. Having a geared head has been really useful because I can really fine tune this. There are some branches that are just blowing in front of the camera, but if I time this right, hopefully they'll be out of the way, and if I get them in, I'll have to remove them in Photoshop. But quite like this, looks nice. I think it's going to be an interesting picture. Certainly with the way these branches are intertwining amongst themselves from this angle. A little bit of sky in, which I don't really like, as you know, but I can get rid of that, I think, in post-production. That looks okay. I've framed it with a tree either side, try and hold the eye, but it might also work as a square, this, because there's a really nice old tree in the background as well. So we'll have a look in Lightroom when we get this up, and whatever I post will be what I decide. So here comes the photo. Let's move on to something else. So busy in here. There's about 4 people. One of the ladies I've seen in here said, "Hello, I remember you. You photographed the fighting trees, which are about 5 miles that way." So I met her in the woods then, which is quite nice. Fighting trees, by the way, are some trees that I photographed over a series of 2 weeks gaps to try and watch the leaves change, and they didn't really, but she followed along, so that was really nice. Now, I found this little scene here. And landscape photography, you know, in woodland, doesn't have to be about grand vistas. It can just be intimate details. And what I love about woodland is these old broken down trees with moss on. And this one here has got some bluebells behind it and some white flowers I can't remember the name of. I'll try and find out and put it on the screen for you. And in the distance, there's some yellow rapeseed, a fence, and I think this is going to be quite nice. probably going to do this wide open, so an aperture of sort of 6.3 to try and throw the background out of focus. Going to step quite a long way back, zoom right in and make this an intimate detail. So let me get this set up and I will talk you through the composition. Oh, it's been cold though for May or for April. It's really freezing. Right, so let me take you into the camera and I'll show you what I'm looking at. I'm going to need to get the tripod lower, and actually I can show you why I need to get the tripod lower very shortly. So if we go into here, we're just going to use the, still get the hang of these controls. Where are we? On this gear head. So that's level, and I quite like that, but what I don't like is this gap just here. So I need to get this bark or this trunk up and just fill that gap in, and that means I'm going to get lower. The benefit of that is if I just show you, where am I? I'll just show you like that. The benefit of that is I'm going to get more of this yellow rapeseed in. So let's get the tripod lower and then we'll shoot this. But I quite like this. I think this is quite nice. I think this is going to be all right. Let me just show you what I'm looking at the back of the camera. Swing you round. So there's the composition, and I quite like this kind of line of flowers that are going in here, and then we've got, these are yellow, and you'll probably show. It's just a question of whether this is a good enough subject matter, and I think it is. This moss, there's some bluebells here, some grass laying on it. Might also work, I was going to say as a square, but I'm not sure it would, because I think we need those bluebells there just to hold the image together. But well, let me process that and see what I think. Tell me what you think. Here comes the image now. Okay, I've come across this scene and we've got a broken branch, and what I like about it is there's completely cuts off the end of it, and then in the distance there's another one, another bough that's fallen down. It's got some gnarly arms and twisted trunks, and actually they kind of complement each other. It's kind of a swooshing idea going on. There's also another oak that's fallen slightly that way, and then we've got another oak that holds it all together straight. So almost like a kind of curved triangle. I'm going to spend a bit of time getting this together. I can see this as a square, so I'm going to turn the camera to a 1:1 aspect ratio so I can visualize it better, but then I'm going to shoot it full frame, because unfortunately with Nikon, if I shoot it as a 1:1, that's what I'll end up with, and I might decide I want to make it a little bit wider. So let's get this framed up and I'll talk you through this shot. Oh wow, I've just spotted some white bluebells. So does that make them white bells? But there's obviously a bit of a moose and a bit of an albino thing going on. Let me show you. Look at that. Amazing. What a sight these bluebells are though, absolutely amazing. Not quite happy with the composition of that one. I'm just going to move over a little bit and see if I can't make it a little bit better, but not quite happy between the separation of the front tree and the tree behind, so I may have to go left and right without standing on anything. Not easy. I move to the right now, and that works better because I've got this front broken branch that kind of sticking out. It looks a bit like a crab, octopus, don't know, some sort of I don't know, some sort of sea creature sticking up. And as it's gone round, it's kind of mimicked the branch. There's a big tree behind it which is doing the same thing. And then the eye's led into the background where we've got some lovely light greens, the bluebell carpet on the floor. There's another little broken branch in between a little X, which really looks nice as well. And the rest of it just looks really good. It looks really good as a square. So I'll show you that now, I'll put it on the screen here. But what I'm going to do is I'm now going to turn the aspect ratio back to full frame and shoot this just in case I want to have a little crop with it later on. Because there's some really interesting elements to this, but really pleased with this. Looks really, really nice. And some light's coming out, so this might be a cracker, you know. All right, let's go on and shoot it. That looks good as well, actually. I'm really enjoying this geared head though for woodland. It's working really well because I'm just kind of fine-tuning it, and it's making me really think about the composition and what I'm getting in. But yeah, great. It's slower to get it into place, but once it's in place, this fine-tuning I'm actually quite enjoying. Right, some lights come out, so let's see if we can't capture another one or two pictures before we go. What a lovely, lovely wood though. Fantastic. Well, this feels really odd to me because I've started to look through the viewfinder when I'm composing images, and I haven't done that for years. I always use the back of the screen. I don't know whether it's my eyes or the fact that I've now got a geared head tripod and I'm really fine-tuning the composition. Very strange. I thought that's the third time I've looked through the viewfinder at this now, but maybe that's a good thing. Maybe I'm really fine-tuning it. I mean, I'm still going to crop these because my problem still is the sky, which I don't like. But as far as I can, I'm getting these correctly composed in the camera, and I'm thinking about all the elements, and that's something that a geared head is definitely making me do, is think about all the elements. And bluebells are brilliant. They're really nice to photograph, but the photograph should be, I think, the scene itself with the bluebells running through it. I think they just add a little bit of a colour harmony to the image rather than the actual bluebells themselves, unless, of course, the light is wonderful, which is looking all right now. But I'm going to photograph this scene behind me, and I might just wrap this video up. Let's shoot this now then, and I'll talk you through it. Okay, so here's the scene. Let me just show you what I'm looking at here. And if we move the camera down a little bit, it's all about this pathway here. Where's my finger? It's about this pathway bringing us through. And then this tree is the main subject. And there's where I focused, about there. And then this tree and this tree just hold the eye in. And the rest of it is about the light. There's lovely little green bits in there. And now a little bank of bluebells running through the image. Got a nice flow to it. These twigs and branches here are a bit busy, but not too bad. I think that it's kind of okay because they're sufficiently out of focus. So let's just shoot that then. 20th of a second, f11, focused on the main tree. Just going to lift this up a little bit actually, because I get a different aspect ratio in the video, something in the background. Right, I'm gonna call it a day there. I think it's been a lovely morning out. I've really enjoyed it. I'll keep the camera out, keep it on the tripod just in case I see something else, and if I find anything else, the picture, as always, will be on the end. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, think about doing so. It will allow you to find me and come back and see the other videos, because I produce videos every Sunday at 6 o'clock about landscape photography, and probably from now on a lot more about woodland, because it's now almost woodland season. So great day, time for a coffee, time for a drive back. Until next time, I'll see you next time.